Chris?
Okay, now.
Uh,
I'm genuinely glad that Chris caught on to what it was that I was doing.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 24th episode of the FreeGN podcast. I'm, of course, your host, Danny, and I'm joined by my lovely, jubbly co-hosts, Chris
He doesn't mean it.
and Gary.
Nah, he totally doesn't mean it.
Now, to make things clear, you're right, I don't mean it. Oh, no, I'm just... They're just...
Wow.
They're just fucking with me. They're just fucking with me, and not in a sexy way like usual, but in a teasy way. They've been teasing me quite a bit lately, and I feel, quite frankly, bullied. I'm gonna tell the teacher.
Well, Danny, you did record me saying as if I'd say it again.
Go
Penis
on.
monsters?
Oh, yeah. But I deleted that, and I actually genuinely did delete that.
I didn't.
Well, now you could get a clip of Gary saying it as well.
That is true. Damn it, then I shouldn't have deleted yours, because then I could say, penis monster. And then we could each have a penis monster clip. But let's, because we've been sometimes kind of stressed on time lately, I'm gonna say that we should start now. Bam. Who wants to talk about the games they played this week?
Ooh. I don't think I've actually played that many games.
Shit, me neither, but I've played one for 50 hours.
Yeah,
Dang.
I've
Well,
kind
actually,
of been
60.
doing little bits around the house. Done a bit of gardening, bit of cleaning.
I know
God,
again,
I'm an old fogey.
Chris, that you can always just mention in my place.
Sonic Mania.
Yes. Because, Chris, you know you want to talk about that glitch you found. Very fun.
Oh, I did play a bit of Sinners First 2, didn't I?
Oh, yeah, so you did.
See, plenty of games. A shit
I
ton.
swear I played something here, and I can't remember what it was. I'm just trying to glare at my game cases, see if anything jogs my memory.
That's
I
what
think
usually.
it was a PS2 game.
That's usually what I
think
do
it
with
was
Steam when I can't remember.
I think it was mainly would have been a bit of Pokemon, just collecting, getting some more for the Pokédex.
Actually,
Yeah, you have been doing that. I can remember that as well.
last week I
But
think it was you mentioned a Pokemon game, but you didn't mention which one. So which Pokemon game is it you're referring to?
Omega Ruby, Sapphire,
Alpha Sapphire.
Sapphire.
Alfire. Wait, how? Okay,
Alpha Sapphire.
okay, Alpha Sapphire, right? So it's Salpha Alfire. Okay, good. That's what I was trying to say.
I don't even fully register what I said then.
To be fair, you were kind of slurring your words. I couldn't properly make it out myself.
Me neither. So none
I
of
have
us.
been awake for too long.
I have been awake for
yeah.
like 2 hours.
And I've been awake for just the right amount of time.
Gary hasn't slept yet, and it's 7 in the morning.
Well, for you it is.
Oh yeah, it's 6 in the morning for you.
Yep.
Well, Gary, do you want to go on or should I? Unless, Chris, you do remember any more.
I will say a slight rant.
Oh god. Well, go on. This is the rant time of the podcast where we can rant about things.
No, it's not going to be long. Just remember, you hug an Englishman, they might not appreciate it. It makes us feel uncomfortable.
Can confirm.
Did any of you get hugged?
Someone threatened to hug Gary over the internet.
It wasn't a threat.
Wait, who tried to hug you?
I have a few friends that I talk to.
And they tried to
One
hug
of
you?
them is well, if so, she has very long arms.
He needed an adult. He came to me. Bad choice.
I'll be honest, I don't like getting hugged either. And that was before coronavirus. So,
Yes, and now you can just use it as an excuse.
yeah.
But back to the games.
Oh yeah, games. God, this is a gaming podcast where we talk about games and shit. Now, Chris, you mentioned Alpha Sapphire, Omega Sapphire.
Omega Ruby.
Yes, Alpha Ruby, Omega Sapphire.
My brain hurts.
I'm
It
just fucking
shouldn't
with
hurt.
I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you. But do you have anything else, Chris? Or should me and Gary continue?
I think that's it, actually.
Okay. Well, Gary, do you want to go or shall I?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. I have actually not played Halo this week. That's right. I thought, you know what? I don't really feel like playing Halo. So I've just been playing a shit ton of Divinity Original Sin 2. And you know, I said 50 hours. I just checked on Steam. Wait, actually, let me check again. Wait, no, I can't check now because I turned it off. And okay, I think I've played about like 60 hours, maybe 62 this week. So that's like about 8 hours a day.
Ooh.
And that makes sense. I have played it like many hours every day. And I'm loving it. I'm still not tired of it. And I think it's great.
I just want to say that,
Good.
like, when I gasped, then it was so loud it echoed.
But
That's how shocking this was.
well, the thing is, when people I can play with start playing Halo again, I'm going to start playing it again. The thing is, I've just gotten kind of tired of playing
it. Lonely on your own.
Yeah, I gotten kind of tired of playing Halo by myself. So it is like very party oriented.
Yeah.
But
you don't have that camaraderie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the old days.
Back
in my day.
Back when Xbox 360 was modern, we used to go and play Invasion on Spire. Do you know what an elite is, Sonny?
And Gary feels that pain so much.
But yeah, but I've gotten pretty far in Divinity, and by pretty far I mean I've exited the prologue, and now in the first area of the game. And
I don't know how long the prologue is, so I'm going to take your word for it.
The prologue was about 30 hours, for joy, but that's me doing everything, and I figured out how to fix the pigs that were on fire. I had to
Did you suffocate?
Was it a bucket of water?
No, I already tried using water because I had a rain spell, which can make it rain. But the thing is, they were cursed with eternal fire. So I found a way to bless them. And then after I blessed the pigs, they weren't on fire anymore and I got XP. I couldn't speak to them at that point, but now I've gotten a party member who I have given pet pals so they can speak to animals.
I have just one question.
Go on.
When you blessed them, did you bless them with eternal, not fire?
No, it's just a spell called bless, which
that's dull. That's dull.
I mean,
the most common spell in our world.
Well, I mean, it's a source spell.
Bless you.
Thank you. Now I'm no longer on eternal fire and or a pig. Now
No, you're still a pig.
Oh.
I've seen the way you eat.
Oh, you're right. I am a pig. I'm a piggy boy. Oink oink. Oh my god.
Yeah, we are bullying Danny a little bit.
I just fucking realized. If furries are a thing, are there pig furries? What is that called?
Most likely.
What's that called? A fleshy? A skinny?
I hope it's called a skinny just because it'd be a paradox.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to say a policeman.
Oh, Chris, you're right, but oh.
When pigs fly.
Have you not heard of police copters?
Well,
that's not them flying. They are sitting in the thing that is flying.
But the thing about Divinity Original Sin 2 is I've min-maxed my characters even more. So now my lizard person is basically the same. He's still got a shield and a one-handed weapon, but I changed my dwarf to, instead of having dual wielding, having a two-handed battle axe, and he does a lot of damage now.
Yay!
And my lady, who I thought was an elf and actually isn't an elf, just me being elfish, I don't know. She's also pretty much the same, but she's basically very squishy when it comes to physical damage, but she's got like 500 mage armor. So
what, are they just human?
They're human, but they're human with a demon stuck in them. Each character,
okay.
Yeah, they're kind of possessed. The thing is, each character has their own separate storyline, and then also there's the main storyline. Like my dwarf is called Beast, and he's like a bastard son of the dwarven nobility, and because he tried to do a coup but failed, he's now wanted by the dwarven queen. Then there's the Red Prince, who's a red lizard who was promised an empire through prophecy, which is something he's trying to acquire, and I promised I'd help him with that. And then there's me, who's a skeleton bony boy, who was told to put on a ring, but the ring talked to me, so I was like, that shit cursed, so I never put on the ring. So I don't even think I'll do my storyline. I don't know. You don't have to do any of the storylines to
That
beat the
actually
game.
sounds kind of cool.
Yeah,
That actually sounds kind of cool because, like, didn't you say that it's got multiplayer?
it does. And you know all these unique characters, like the Red Prince and Beast. You can't just choose to play as one of those.
What I'm actually thinking would be really, really cool is if you you could probably make a fucking TV series or an anime out of this, so that you could have it so that each character gets focused on, so that it's kind of you just kind of put off doing certain quests until you follow through one character's entire storyline.
Well, that's actually kind of impossible. The thing is, the way it works is each person's storyline has a certain amount of quests. Now, like the Princess quest, I can't do that right now, but because I've seen the game being played before, I know that the solution to his storyline comes in the late game. Now there have been few things you have to do. Like there have been assassins who've tried to kill us because apparently they don't want the Red Prince to get his empire. So we had to fight assassins specifically because I chose him as a party member. And with Laos or Los or spelled Loshe, Los, lady with demon in her. I had to kill her because the demon took control, but we didn't kill her completely. We just defeated her, and then the demon no longer had control. And now we just met a demon master who said the only way to help her is to go to this island where there's like a book or something, I can't remember. So that's something we're able to do now. So it's like there's so much depth that when I saw somebody play the game, I remember them mentioning there's so much depth to each of these characters, including the ones you make yourself, that you could play this game many times just to get like the feel of all the different characters and stuff and all their storylines.
Yeah.
And then then there's Sir Los or Sir Laura. Did I mention Sir Laura last time?
I don't think so.
Sir Laura is a squirrel that rides on a cat, which is a knight.
You know, that sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah, it would have been awesome, but he accidentally died in a fireball last time I played.
Oh, that's less awesome.
And I didn't notice, so I continued the game and saved quite a bit, and then it's like, I wonder where Sir Laura is. And then I found his corpse, and I was like, ooh, yikes. So, don't know about his storyline.
I love that you took the Family Guy response to it.
Ooh, yikes. Ooh. But yeah. Oh yeah, wait, I forgot to mention how I changed my guy. I no longer use a crossbow or any ranged weapons. I've completely spec'd into summoning. With a slight things into like one in hydromancy so I can use restoration, which is the healing spell, and then like 2 in necromancy so I can use like some necromantic spells. But other than that, I've put it into summoning. And you know the little gremlin creature I talked about that I could create?
I vaguely seem to remember.
He's a giant now. He's huge. And he's very powerful.
What you're saying is you've managed to turn him into me.
He basically
a giant gremlin.
Well, now he looks much different. I could show a picture of you after the podcast of the before and after, but he's very strong, and all my.
I hope you can edit that one in. Let everyone see.
You know what? I will, but I've gotten him up, and I've gotten a bunch of spells which just are meant to buff him. So I basically, in the start of a fight, I create him, I buff him to complete, and then I hide, while him and my 3 other party members just obliterate everything.
The backseat approach.
Yeah, and basically I also have a spell that I can use to keep myself alive. Basically, I can play dead because I'm undead. So I can do that, and then if I'm in danger, I just play dead, and then enemies are like, well, he's dead, so I shouldn't attack him. And then, because I'm not actually dead, my summon, my incarnate, can just go on a rampage.
So,
okay.
But that's all
Was
I
there any other things you played?
Nope, that's all I played. That's why I talked so much about it. But I've played literally nothing else. No other games.
How just real quick, how long have we been recording thus far?
17 minutes.
Jesus
And
Christ.
yes, I will say I did talk about Divinity Original Sin 2 for about 11 minutes.
Okay.
So because of that, let's continue. Gary?
Okay, then I guess I'll just gloss over the mobile games I've done, which
Uh,
has been Pokemon Go, caught a few things, caught myself a Galarian Slowpoke, working on evolving that. Nothing special going on there. Thanks to Adam, I'm getting a tiny bit of help just having him sign into my account to spin a Pokestop because I don't live right near one, and I've got a challenge that needs it done for 7 days in a row. So he's just helping me with that. So I only need one more day, hoping nothing goes wrong there.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Legends is something I've only really been going on to claim the rewards. Mostly been trying to get something. I did finally get a full Zenkai Awakened character, which is basically if you summon them enough, they get a little star. The more you summon them, the more stars they get. They can get 7 stars, and then beyond that, those 7 stars can turn red. Once you've got 7 stars, you can start awakening them and thus basically just making them a lot stronger. I finally got one of them to maximum Zenkai level, which means is really strong now. And that actually I did probably about half hour ago. Moving on. So, pointed out, Chris had played Sonic Mania because my birthday's been since the last recording, and Chris came round, and Adam came round. We played some multiplayer.
I also
Oh my!
I also said happy birthday before your birthday was over.
Yes, you did, just in time.
7 minutes until next day.
Whew.
But continue. Do continue.
Yeah, with that multiplayer, we were just absolutely goofing around. Weren't competing properly or anything. And Chris managed to find a glitch that made us laugh so hard because the first time we discovered it, he got stuck in the wall.
Ooh, go on.
Yeah, okay, so what happened is Adam died, and me and Chris basically started competing because there were just the two of us, and we wanted to get Adam back into being able to play quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So we started going head to head at speed, and I got to the point where I caused a glitch issue for Chris to happen. There's a platform that opens up so you can go through it, and then it closes once you're above it, so that you don't fall back down. And at a certain distance away from it, it still respawns when you get lower than it. I'd gone down, and it opened while Chris was stood on it, and he jumped while he was in the wall, and that basically trapped him.
Yep, that was not fun in a contest.
There was a funny point where I broke an item, like in a separate game where that same situation happened, and then I got stuck in the wall, and Chris was free. So don't worry, he turned the tables on me.
Ah, how the turns have tabled.
Yes.
Quite.
I did actually have to disappear briefly then, just because my dog was barking at foxes.
Yeah, well, it's fine.
Yeah.
It won't be that noticeable.
Okay, now if I move on from that, very recently, as in since my birthday, I've got a game. It's relatively new. I think it was released around 2015-ish. It's called Dex.
Dex.
Yeah.
That rings a bell, but I'm not going to Google it in fear.
Okay, so it's a cyberpunk 2D RPG Metroidvania kind of game.
I do not know of this game.
Well, from what I've played, it's been incredibly fun.
Oh, I was thinking of Jackster and Dex.
I thought that was Jak and Daxter.
You're right, it is. Oh god. Yeah, but we'll continue it. It's very fun.
Okay, from what I can tell, the main character, who is coincidentally named Dex, shocker, is kind of compatible with machines without being physically augmented to do so. She can interact with them.
Oh, she's a flesh USB.
That just sounds wrong.
she can basically enter cyberspace without any form of without being a cyborg, basically.
Oh.
So she can use this to hack into people's private networks and get information and basically leak it and everything. It's really cool because all of the characters are incredibly well written. The art looks great, and what's kind of funny is okay. Let me tell you something real quick. There's this homeless guy you can find right near the start of the game, and he asks you to help him hack vending machines. Basically, what he wants is just a trickle of income.
Yeah.
And once he gets that, his initial plan was change the world by using this and take the money from the higher ups.
Ah, the
But
Robin
then
Hood.
he ultimately, yeah, kind of like a digital age Robin Hood. But ultimately, what he ended up doing is once he'd got enough, he just decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna get a house.
Yeah, that sounds
And then
pretty.
he just kind of becomes this merchant who sells you some other useful goods, like the ones he gave you as a reward for hacking the vending machines in the first place.
Yeah,
Hmm.
sounds pretty cool.
Then there's another character who's basically, because of the whole vast majority of people are allowing themselves to be augmented as cyborgs, they can get new sensations. So music as we hear it today and singing as we hear it today, that is kind of outdated. But you've got this one person who is a singer from this kind of era, and she's being hassled by this one person who keeps sending her threatening letters. And the way the story played out for me specifically is ultimately the person who sent her the threatening letters did end up killing her, but not not the way I thought was going to happen.
Oh, what happened?
Okay, so I was asked to go and confront the one sending the letters. So I go and do that. And let's just say I made some bad choices in the conversation, which was, okay, why don't you go and talk to her yourself? So she's went off and talked to herself. And then when I've got there, murder has happened.
I see.
Then she tried stabbing me,
Good.
and this awkward cinematic played where I just kind of run over and shoved her, and she died.
Yeah. Well, when push comes to shove.
Yep.
You fall in a grave.
Yeah.
It's also kind of funny because the way I ended up having to get into that house was basically that's a fourth floor apartment. I could get into an apartment on the second floor. I could get into an apartment on the third floor, but I didn't have the lockpicking capabilities at first to get into the one on the fourth floor. So ultimately, I went out of the second floor window and just kind of climbed up on the balconies. I basically Batmaned my way in. I felt proud.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, I should probably wrap this up. I was going to say, there's basically a bunch of, I'm going to say, gang wars going on. It's kind of interesting how you just sort of have to fight against a lot of different enemy types because you've got common thugs that just use guns, and you can even hack into the thugs. It's kind of cool. Yeah, I'll leave that there.
Yeah. I mean, I will
People
say.
should play it.
I will.
People should play it. It's better than the reviews made it out to be.
I will say, Gary, you did speak for longer than I did, but I'll be
Holy
honest.
shit!
You usually speak for like 20 minutes about the games you've played. Not gonna lie, which is not
How
a
long do I
bad,
speak this time?
which isn't a bad thing. I just wanted to put that out there. But now we should continue to dream futures if anybody has any. Like I said last time, we're gonna be more relaxed on dream futures because we like to spend more time on the topic. So if you don't have a dream future, that's fine.
I kind of do.
Well, I also have one, but it's not like a very. It doesn't take a lot of explanation. My dream future.
Neither does this one.
Good. What about you, Gary? Do you have one?
Well, actually, all I was going to say is, I got like 55 quid for my birthday, and I'm just not sure how I want to spend it. So I suppose mine is really just working that out.
Meth.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
Well, Chris, you go first then.
basically, I've been on YouTube a little bit, and I got a advert, but it's actually something I'm interested in.
Oh, you also get the
Holy
adverts about
shit.
the sexy ladies in your neighborhood. I'm just kidding. I don't get those.
The fact that it's something I'm interested in is that 1 in a million advert feels like.
Yeah, I never get ads that I'm into. Actually, I got one, but you do go on.
Basically, it's June 18th. A movie is released in cinema.
Ooh,
Oh yeah,
what movie? I want to know. I'm curious.
we're all curious.
Monster Hunter.
Oh, oh shit! I forgot
Hey,
about that.
Chris, you're fully vaccinated. You can legally go.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's the fact that it just randomly popped up, and it's essentially next week from when we're recording.
Yeah. Well,
Quite literally, yeah.
well, if you go watch that, we can talk about it. You can talk about how it's different from the games, without spoiling
That
it.
could actually segue into the whole games and movies topic.
I think we
Could
already
be.
done that.
I don't actually
Yeah.
remember if we did.
We did games and multimedia where we took games and movies. We
I
haven't.
think we glossed over it.
Yeah, we didn't do actual movie games / game movies. But yeah,
But I would
continue.
like to go see it at some point. It doesn't need to be in the cinema, but it's something that pops up again.
Yeah.
All right,
Now-
Danny, your turn. What's yours?
Well, actually, I wanted to quickly say about the advert that I saw that kind of relates to
Go on.
something I like, but I also always walk away or turn off what I'm watching when the ad comes on. The new Ratchet and Clank game. I think it's called Rift in Time. Something like that.
Rift Apart.
Rift Apart. That's what it's called. And I like Ratchet and Clank. I recently played the third one on my PlayStation 2. So,
Yeah, I
but
think it is more of a Sony exclusive,
yeah,
unless they
I'm pretty sure it is.
allowed that one to be on PC.
yeah, I'm probably gonna get it at some point. Not when it releases, but at some point. But the thing I hate about this advert is for some reason it's in Danish. And their voices have been dubbed into Danish. And you know how Clank okay, have any of you played Ratchet and Clank?
I remember a time like years ago that on the PS3, one of the times I went to Chris, we kind of played it together. But it's been years.
But okay, do you remember how Clank sounds?
No, I can't say I do.
A little bit.
Okay, well, he sounds like he sounds kind of poshish, right? And like, you know, he's got a good voice in the English version. In the Danish version, he's just a nerd, like, ow, no, ow, eh. And he doesn't sound like that at all in the Danish version. He's like a nerd who's just like sounds
So
pathetic.
in English, it's, well, that was unexpected.
Yeah, exactly. He's like classy. But in the Danish version, it's like, oh, that is not good, or some shit like that. And I hated it. The other voices, they also sound bad, but the one that really stuck out for me was Clank's voice, which is just terrible. And it makes me sad. So, but that's not my dream future. That's just something I wanted to mention after you mentioned the.
Really quickly, just before we segue off of this, I've just looked it up, and apparently the release date is quite literally the day we're recording this.
Oh, well, definitely won't be buying that right now, but
Gary might.
I mean, don't know how much
That is not on for Switch.
Oh yeah, true. But
look, I've got ads for it, and like the cheapest is out of my budget.
Yeah, but let's continue. My dream future is quite simple. I want to stream Alien vs Predator Extinction. Done. I just want to stream that game.
Do you have anything?
I kind of already went first. It was mostly trying to figure out how to send my money.
Yeah.
Oh.
But on that note, I'm gonna take the topic ball. That's right. I'm bringing it back. I'm ripping it out of my asshole where it's been hiding the last couple of weeks, and I'm gonna give it to you, Chris. And you're gonna try to not touch it because it's been in my ass. But I'm gonna grab your arm, and then hold your hand open. I'm gonna put it in your hand, and now you're gonna introduce the topic.
Well, this is just as awkward as being hugged. Well,
It's the physical contact, isn't it?
I mean, okay, unless you want me, because it was my idea, the topic, but I
all right. So, early access games.
yes, games in pre-alpha, alpha, early access, and we're just gonna be talking about their, concepts about it or games. But Chris, do you want to start?
Okay. Early access games are, if I say, a relatively modern thing, but
They
they
are.
did have a precursor, the so-called demos.
Demo discs.
Yeah. Some games
Yeah.
also just had demos in them.
Well, I think it was the PlayStation magazine that had demo discs, where you get either a video, it's like a mini E3 presentation, or actual small sections of the game you can actually play. But early access is essentially a ramped up version of that.
Yeah.
Where, if I'm not mistaken, it provides the entirety of the game's files as they are at that point of release.
Yeah. It's an early version of the game, which they wouldn't define as finished, and they usually give you a warning like, hey, this is a pre-alpha game or an alpha game or early release, which means there can be changes occurring in the game. So people know this when they buy it. At least that's the warning you get on PC. Now, I've got some things to say about it. Don't know if you have anything more to say about it, Chris, other than the precursors.
I do. It is a mixed bag of good and bad. On one hand, slurring my words again, but on one hand, it gives people a chance to experience it, and if they like it, they can look forward to when it's fully released. But the bad side of that is it
Anything
might
that's free
never be
Right.
released.
There's a game I love that I got like 5 years ago, hasn't been released yet. Or at least I don't think it has. At least they still do huge patches where game mechanics change and stuff.
Which game was it?
7 Days to Die.
Ah.
I mean, back in the day. Oh yeah, go on.
But that's not abandoned.
No, it's not abandoned, and it's changing all the time. And in fact, it's been changing for the better, because people give their input, and then it's basically become the game that most people who play it would want it to be. Now, it's still terribly optimized, which is something that's an issue in the complete code of the game, which I don't really know how they'll fix, but other than that, it's a pretty good game.
But early access basically gets people to be testers.
Yeah.
They can add their own feedback. It helps the developers as well. Because if I remember correctly, the game Subnautica, the original, I want to say was a exhibition of what they can do. Almost a sandbox scenario of, okay, water physics. We'll do a water world. We can show off what we can do. Because I remember watching a video early on of the game where they were able to manipulate the terrain, but that they discovered that causes way too many issues. So later on it was removed, but they kept on building upon it. And if something didn't work or it put too much strain on the game, they removed it, like the digging.
That's a good aspect of alpha games or early access games.
Because it does allow the developers to put
the game to the test.
Polish, but it's not even polish. I want to say it gives it the right shape.
The way I would say it is, it lets game developers put their game to the test and figure out issues that they probably wouldn't have figured out if they had just released the game and said, okay, it's done, and then it's filled with bugs that'll never be fixed because it's quote unquote done. Like the thing is, we talked about some good things about alpha games or I keep calling them something different. Early access games. Now, I also want to talk about something bad about early access games. That's when people use it, like game developers who are hacks, use it to think. Basically, some game developers' strategy is, okay, we'll make half of a game, release it as an alpha, and then people will initially buy it thinking, well, this game's going to be finished. And then they never finish it and never actually keep working on it. Just abandon the game. They're known as dead games. And a good example, and then sometimes game developers are also like, okay, we'll build the game, we'll build half of the game, and then we'll have the modders fix it. Looking at you, Todd Howard, Bethesda, looking at you. And so the thing is, early access games can be used for bad, but they also can have very positive effect on a game. Like with 7 Days to Die. When it first came out, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago
2013.
now. 2013.
2013. It was December 2013.
Christ, I bought it like, well, actually, I say 5 years ago, but it's 6 years now because we're in 2021. I bought it in 2015. Yeah, 6 years ago. That's when I bought it. So I didn't buy it right when it came out, but I bought it a couple of years later, and the game has vastly changed, but for the better. Like, and there have been, I play every patch where they changed it dramatically, and some patches were worse than the ones that came before it, but they'd always be making progress. And the current patch right now, I would say, is the best it's ever been. The graphics are much better. It's much more stable, not completely stable. It still crashes from time to time, especially with two monitors doing two things on a PC as old as mine, and but it's still like really good. I think I always remember as something that changed a lot is how XP was earned. Now XP is best earned by fighting zombies or building structures. Do you want to know how you gain XP the most efficient way back in the day? You gathered Nope, that wasn't the most efficient way. You gathered 6,000 wood, or as much wood you wanted, and as many stones as you wanted, and then you just queued up thousands of stone axes, because each axe would give you a certain amount of XP, and you could have that running in the background while you were doing stuff. So you'd just basically be making more, just make constant flow of items. And that's, from a game point, it's not the most fun way to do it, but it was the most efficient way of doing it. Now, the most efficient way of doing it is the most fun way of doing it, which is building stuff, and the more higher quality your building material is, the more XP you get. And zombies, now you can increase the amount of zombies because you get more XP from it. And they've put in things where you can change like everything about the game. Like, you can change what you drop when you die. You can either drop everything, you can either lose everything, you can either drop only the hotbar or only your backpack, or you can drop nothing. And it was something like that. I used to just either drop the hotbar or drop nothing. And you can increase the XP amount to up to 300% extra in case you don't want to, have that grind. So you can increase it.
What I got out of you mentioning about the stone axe building.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking is that was originally planned for developer testing.
I just think it was an oversight, honestly. I just think they thought, well, when you make an item, you get XP from doing that.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, you need to have an early game item so you can build a stone axe, which can do everything. It can chop wood, stone, metal, dirt. Basically, it can do everything, but it can do it very badly. So in the later game, it's better to have iron tools that are associated with each task, and then eventually steel tools. Now they've kind of nerfed weapons in the sense that you don't actually very often find weapons unless you increase your looting skill. Now you mostly find, well, actually no, that was the patch before. The way it is, the patch before, you'd never find weapons, but you would find a lot of weapon parts which you can use to make weapons. Now you find weapons, but sometimes the weapons aren't very good, which means you can scrap them for weapons parts, which you can then use to eventually build a better weapon than the weapons you have found, which I think is a better alternative to what they had before. And
Sounds it.
that's the thing. It keeps changing every time based on player feedback, and I like it. It's very good. I would say that Fun Pimps, you're doing a good job. But now I should stop talking because we're getting late in the thing, and we should get to. I think we should get to a common consensus on early access games. My personal opinion is it can be misused or it can be a very useful tool.
It was
And
just a tiny bit I wanted to add in. Is
we still have 12 minutes before the whole thing is over, so like, still have.
that's good.
Yeah,
That's good. That should be enough time. Basically, what I learned about Dex is it was an early access game, but what they ended up doing is they moved it from early access to a official public release a bit too early, and they hadn't fixed a bunch of glitches that it had. So following on from that, they then had to keep releasing update patches to fix those glitches. But considering I've basically got the 2020 release, it's solid. It's fixed.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Reality, what the only mistake they made was taking it out of early access too quickly.
Yeah.
But at least they had the decency to be like, oh, we did this too early. Let's keep fixing the game until it's actually, good. Now, Chris, do you have anything else to add?
Right. This might be a bit of an awkward bit, but I feel as if a game company releases something as early access, but doesn't follow through with it.
Yeah.
I feel like there should be some kind of refund.
Yeah, I understand that. I don't think Steam has that. As far as I understand, actually, maybe you can make a custom claim. Usually, the way Steam refunds works is if you've bought it within 2 weeks and you've played less than 2 hours, you can automatically get a refund. But if anything else, you need to write in. But maybe that is like something that can be done.
It's just
developer promises were not met.
Yeah, that should be an option.
If you buy a game and it's early access and it essentially sold us that and it's not updated, if there is no proof that it's been worked on for an entire year, I feel like people who have bought it should have the right to ask for a refund. It might not be what they paid for it, but some sort of refund, just so that companies don't go, here's an early access game, give us all the money.
Yeah, and then never finish it.
So that they don't keep the money. If they try to do that, they can't keep the money.
Yeah, see, it's basically
And then
it's basically like negative repercussions for using that shitty tactic I mentioned earlier, where they release a pre-alpha game or an early access game with a bunch of promises like, you're gonna, when the game is finished, you're gonna be able to do all this shit, and then they never finish it.
Right, I could be misremembering this, but I believe there was a case of a company releasing a early access game that was hyped up, but they didn't do anything with it. So it was taken down, but then they released it again, early access, named something else, and someone pointed out that it's got the same promotional images, screenshots, videos, clips.
Yeah.
And it's just the carbon copy of the game, but under a different title,
so
they can trick people into buying it again.
I think. Well, let me just check my book. Oh yes, that's technically called a scam, a literal scam.
Glad we had your handy dandy dictionary there, Danny.
Yep. Oh, I like that. Handy dandy dictionary. I like that.
Actually, I'm going to rebrand it. It's the Handy Danny Dictionary.
But if they did what I suggest, that after a year you get a refund, so the first game people get a refund from it, and then they are still out of pocket, the company.
Yeah.
They go back to being out of pocket. one of the scummiest things they can do.
I mean, I agree. Ooh. But my ass is hurting now from sitting for so long, and we should start doing words of wisdom. So yeah, but before we do that, we came to the conclusion: early access games, it can be very good or it can be very shite, depending on the publisher.
Isn't that conclusion basically what it was at the beginning, but with us just having ranted for an hour or so?
Yeah, but we gave our reasons
Essentially.
why. We gave our reasons why, and we gave some examples and stuff.
That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, we don't do this podcast to be like, let's do some groundbreaking work and realize something nobody has ever realized before. Because in reality, I think most people understand, yeah, early access games, they can be useful tool for developers, but if developers are scummy and shitty, then that's not good. And they can use this useful tool to do that. And it would be nice to be, I think if anything we did differently, it's Chris's idea of there should be some sort of negative repercussions for the developers that do this.
Agreed.
Yeah. But, words of wisdom, anybody got any? I got some. Should I start? Can I start? I want to start.
Go on then, you start.
If you're going to buy a game that is an early access, wait. Just wait a bit, maybe a week, a month, and go read about it.
What other people say about it.
Yeah, figure out if, okay, these, and also do some research, because if the person, if the developers who are releasing this game has already released a game prior, which has been in early access, which is now finished, and people are like, yeah, they did it good, then you could probably assume that the developer is going to act in the same way. But if it's one of those games that just download a bunch of assets from Unity and reuse it again and again and again, all the same assets, you can assume that it's probably not going to be the most trustworthy development devs. So yeah, that's my words of wisdom. They were kind of long. They weren't very wise-ish. So yeah. Next.
The sad thing is, I could probably translate that into wise words.
I mean, if you do that, I'm going to take that as your words of wisdom.
Blind faith will only lead you to shaky ground.
Fuck, he can't keep getting away with this.
Well, Danny, then maybe it'll please you to know that unfortunately I can't upstage him, as I have come up with nothing.
I see.
Buy decks, everybody. Have fun.
Buy dicks, everybody. Buy dicks. You heard it here first.
We're not being...
Go out and buy a penis. If you
I'm sorry. Are we being sponsored by them?
Now, if you write in big fat slobbery dong in the description below,
we're not sponsored.
you can get 50% on your next penis, on your next ding dangs at 3gnnutsandcock.com. Oh God, what have we done? Let's stop it now. Thanks everybody for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, Discord, Twitter, you know it. Oh, and build the bell button. Wait, not bomb. Button. Button. Button.
Alright,
No,
I've
it's a
got
bomb
some
now.
last words, but have you got anything last to say, Gary?
Cry.
Yeah,
Or don't.
I already said the goodbye. We gotta goodbye now. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
No.
Wait, we don't like hugs, but somehow we can openly talk about dongs. Wow, Britain's messed up.